Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. As I promised, we are going to be watching a lot of supports, so I'm going to be muting my mic, and I'll be increasing the game volume so you can have a nice listen. Enjoy!
Hey, Dimitri. Aren't you supposed to be on break today? What's got you down?
It's nothing. I suppose I'm just finding it difficult to relax. It is vexing to no end to lay around doing nothing, while everyone else busies themselves with vital work.
Nobody's forcing you to take vacations or anything. We just want you to have a little break every now and again. Why are you so desperate to work, anyway?
Because it is my duty. No. It is the only way I know how to live. As part of the royal bloodline, my life has never for a moment belonged to me. Not even at the instant of my birth. And as a survivor of that horrible tragedy, there are certain responsibilities only I can shoulder.
I don't get it. Why does all that stuff have to fall on you? Nothing's gonna go the way you want if you can't bring yourself to trust people who just want to help. And don't even try to tell me you'd be happy with that.
All I want is to ease the pain, both for those who perished that day and for those who yet live. I'm fully aware that I will need to make sacrifices if I ever hope to accomplish that goal. But I will not drag others into my own personal crusade. I won't let anyone else suffer. So, you see, it's better for me to carry the burden myself. And better for everyone else as well.
You say you don't want to see people suffer, but what about you, Dimitri? What about your pain? You don't have a hope in the world of caring for other people if you can't care for yourself first.
I'm not sure how to respond to that. And in truth, I don't know how to alleviate my own pain. I've never given the matter any thought. What would happiness even look like for me?
How can you not know something like that? Just think about it. What kind of things make you smile? Maybe when you finally conquer a tough rival, or hold a banquet after surviving a dangerous battle.
I don't believe I bear the right to such happiness, but if that time were to come, it would be upon my death, having devoted my life to forming a peaceful kingdom full of joyful citizens.
Seriously? You can be downright dismal sometimes, you know that? Why's death the first thing that comes to mind when you think about being happy?
Dismal? Yes, perhaps you're right. But I find it difficult to consider anything else that may cause me joy.
Come on, nothing? What about ending this war quick and celebrating with all your friends? I'm sure Dedu and the others would whip up the grandest feast you've ever laid eyes on.
No, such revelry would be wasted on me. But I suppose seeing the smiles on everyone's faces would be enough.
Thanks for thinking of us, oh great king. But fine, if you want to carry your own burdens for the rest of your life, so be it. We'll just have to take extra good care of you, though, since you clearly won't do it yourself. For starters, you're gonna take a break, and by the goddess, you're gonna like it. Come on, Dimitri. We're gonna get you away from camp for a bit.
No words can express my gratitude.
Did you, sir? We'd like to hear your opinion on the matter we discussed earlier.
Regarding Count Karen, as I discussed with Gustav.
Looks like things are finally changing, Dedu. They've really started warming up to you, huh?
They have. That soldier I was speaking to lost his mother in Dusker. She was a knight of the kingdom. Naturally, his feelings toward me were complicated. We argued many times.
You arguing? Can't imagine what that looks like.
I thought it better than just letting him hurl abuse at me. Such a reaction was surprising for me as well. But now we have fought together, worried together, faced death together. I have shown him what I'm capable of, and he has come to trust me in turn.
Nice. Sounds like you really earned his respect then. Congrats, Dedu.
Strange. Why are you so happy for me?
Because we're friends, and friends are happy for each other when good stuff happens to them.
Are they?
Anyway, now you've just got to keep it going and get even more people to trust you. Same goes for me. And Dimitri while we're at it.
You're right.
In the meantime, I'm gonna keep winning battles until I prove myself to you once and for all. So make sure you keep an eye on me out there, Dedu, because I'm gonna be the most valuable fighter we've got. What? What's so funny?
Nothing. I look forward to your performance, but you already have my trust. No matter your origin or identity.
Really? You never know when I might betray you and turn my sword on Dimitri, though. Not to mention this weird power I have. Can you seriously say you trust me with that in mind?
Your power is concerning, but it does not define you. I'm sure you would not so easily betray His Majesty or myself. But know that if you do, I will cut you down without hesitation. That's who I am. You must understand by now.
Weird way to tell me you trust me, but it's got Dedu written all over it. I'm honored.
What's wrong? Your footwork is even sloppier than usual.
You noticed that, huh? It's nothing. There's just been a lot on my mind lately is all. And I was kinda lost in thought when you lunged at me, so I couldn't really react too well.
Training isn't the time for idle contemplation. You're worthless as a sparring partner if you let your mind wander. Not to mention that you do the same thing in actual battles. Getting distracted when you're training is one thing. Do it out there, and the enemy will cut you down without hesitation. We've been through this before. If there's something on your mind, just come out with it already.
I was just thinking you have a pretty good read on me now, too.
It was obvious something was wrong from the way you were fighting. And this is just payback for last time, so no complaining.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not.
If you say so. There's still something I don't understand, though. Where did you learn to fight like that? You clearly don't move like a knight, but I've never seen a mercenary use those techniques either.
I guess you could say I taught myself. I didn't really have one teacher who showed me everything. If anything, I just kind of picked stuff up as I moved from one band of mercs to the next.
That explains it. I was wondering why your style was so hard to read. Both knights and mercenaries use a standard set of battle-tested tactics. A book they all play by. But you're not bound to any single convention. I suppose that's what I found strange.
Probably doesn't help that I don't have to draw my sword like everyone else. When I think about it like that, it might have been for the best that I taught myself instead of subscribing to a particular school of thought.
A unique style all your own. Fascinating. Teach me.
I'd be glad to, but I'm the only one who can use my sword. It won't be easy to replicate.
That's for me to decide. If nothing else, I can adapt your moves for my own purposes. The more styles I know, the better.
If you say so. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'll do what I can. Oh, and you can teach me in exchange. The more styles, the better, right? You fight sorta like a knight, but also sorta not. I mean that in a good way, of course. I'm not sure how to put it. It's almost like you react to the situation as it plays out. So, yeah, if we can combine our two styles somehow, I bet we'll both end up stronger for it.
Maybe so.
He's making a run for it, Felix. Don't let him get away.
Not a chance. He's mine!
Nice work out there. It's a real confidence boost knowing you have my back.
I could say the same for you. Now that I know your style better, I have less trouble predicting your movements.
Glad to hear it. Guess you must have a pretty good read on me by now, huh?
On your sword, perhaps.
There you go again. You know, I've gotten a good grasp on the way you think. It's like you decide on a role for yourself, then do whatever you can to see it through. Of course, the role changes depending on the situation and who's fighting beside you. Sometimes you attack, sometimes you defend. It's incredible just how versatile you are.
No need for compliments. That's simply how I was taught to be.
Really? By who?
My father. He may prefer a spear or magic, but he is more than capable with a sword in his hands too.
Right. Makes sense it'd be Rodrigue. His weapon of choice might be different, but he adapts himself to the flow of battle just as well as you do. Probably better, actually.
The style didn't start with him, though. It's something the leaders of our house have passed down throughout the ages. House Fraldarius has been the king's lance and shield for generations. Ever since the time of Kaifin, sworn friend of the great King Lug. At times, we've been sent to defeat the crown's enemies. At others, we've held back to defend the throne. I admit the style has its uses, idiotic history of blind faith aside.
Huh. So that's why you fight the way you do. You're indispensable, Felix. Not just to Dimitri, but to everyone else too.
I suppose if I'm a lance and shield, you would be like some kind of projectile, an arrow or a stone.
You're saying I'm good at taking the enemy by surprise, right? You sure could learn to be more direct with your compliments, you know.
You can interpret it that way if you want. In any case, you're just as important to this army as I am. Between that sword of yours and the way you can shapeshift, nobody ever knows what you'll do next. Some might say your powers are dangerous, but I think they provide the perfect element of surprise.
Huh. Glad to hear you say so.
There's one fault I can't get past, though. You can never stay focused during battle. It's almost like you're talking to someone while you fight. Someone in your head that... Hey, what's with the smile?
Huh? Oh, sorry. I'm just really happy we've gotten to know each other so well. Only a true friend would be that open with their criticism. Thanks, Felix.
Say what you will. That's the last piece of advice I'm ever giving you.
He wasn't really mad, was he? It's so hard to tell sometimes. Today's training was rough. Guess I need to start working even harder if I want to keep up.
You know, it's amazing just how into all this you are, but I do feel kind of bad for you.
Why? It's my own fault for not being up to snuff. Just you watch, Sylvain. I'm gonna stand head and shoulders above everyone else in the next battle.
That's not what I mean. I feel bad that we roped you into this war. The only reason any of us are fighting is to keep our homes from being destroyed. If we fail, we'll lose everything. Our houses, our families, the places we grew up. But you don't have that kind of personal stake in this thing. You can live wherever the wind takes you.
True. I am a bit of a nomad.
Isn't there anywhere you call home, though?
Well, sorta. I grew up in a remote village off in the mountains, so that's probably the closest thing. But it's hard to really say for sure. Honestly, I doubt I'll ever understand what it means to have a home like all of you do.
So what? Are you just in this for the money then?
If I'm getting paid for a job, then I'll do whatever it takes to see it through to the end. And of course, I want to keep my friends safe too.
A very you answer if I've ever heard one. Not that that's a bad thing.
Really, I think this is the closest thing to a home I've ever had. Because I've got all of you here.
Are you sure? This place doesn't make for quality living, trust me. I mean, it's cold, it's desolate, and there's nowhere to go to have any fun. Plus, we've constantly got enemies like Srang soldiers coming at us from every angle.
Well, I can't deny that. But it's still important to you anyway, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And it's our job to make it a place where everyone can live in peace.
Right. Who knows what'll happen after the war, but for now, I'm with you guys every step of the way.
I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, and about those plans for the fire orb I showed you? Would you mind helping me with a little experiment later? The thing hardly had any punch to it when I tested it.
Sure. Sounds like it's a long way off still, huh?
Hey, I'm trying here. I even got in touch with the School of Sorcery to see if they could help.
No rush, Sylvain. I'm sure you'll finish it one of these days. I've spent enough time with you to know. You can do anything when you put your mind to it. Hey, Annette. What are you up so late for? Some kind of research?
Oh no, it's nothing like that. I've been working on this.
That just looks like a bunch of little black bugs jumping around on a page.
Excuse you, it's sheet music. I have no idea how you could possibly think the notes look like bugs.
Sorry. It's just, I don't think I've ever actually seen sheet music before. Does this mean you're writing a new song?
Mm-hmm. A lovely tune popped into my head today, so I wanted to jot it down before I forgot.
Mind singing it for me? I'd love to know what kind of song it is.
Nope, sorry. I'm not done writing the lyrics yet. I have a rough outline, but that's about it so far. Still, I want to write something happy. A song that'll make people feel good when they sing it.
That sounds great. I can't wait till it's finished.
Hey, do you remember the song I wrote about that night?
Night? Oh, you mean the horse with the human... yep. Yeah, the song about the night, of course.
Well, I heard someone singing it again.
Look, Annette, I know you're upset I let it slip, but what's done is done.
I didn't mean it like that. I heard a mercenary singing it to himself as he died. He was covered in blood and could hardly breathe. Yet he had this great big smile on his face as the words crossed his lips. He must have been in so much pain. But still, he just kept smiling.
Probably thinking back to all the times he'd spent drinking and singing with his friends. Soldiers always throw the wildest parties after a battle. The sort of thing where you can find knights and mercs alike, locking arms and belting out tunes.
Maybe. Anyway, I've been thinking about that mercenary a lot ever since he passed. I never wanted that song out in the world, and I'm honestly still not happy about it. But it helped him face his final moments with a smile, instead of sadness or fear. And I'm forever grateful I could provide that.
It's like I told you before, Annette. Your songs can really help people. I'm sure tons more took comfort in that song too, including me. Whenever I'm feeling down, I just think about one of your silly songs and I'm right back in high spirits.
Silly? Are you implying my lyrics aren't serious? No, never mind. I'll choose to take it as a compliment. And hey, if my songs really help people that much, I better get to work writing lots of new ones.
There you go. So what's this next one gonna be about?
Well, right now I'm planning to make it be about a group of friends who dig into a huge feast together. They keep churning out dish after delicious dish, and everyone's faces are alight with laughter and joy.
Wow, I'm getting hungry just hearing about it.
Right? Then once all the food runs out, they go off hunting for ingredients so they can cook up some more.
Okay.
But uh-oh, they come across a ginormous bear and have to battle it to the death.
A death match with a bear? I thought this was supposed to be a happy song about a feast. Guess I shouldn't judge it before it's done. Just let me know when you're finished, okay? I want to be the first in line to hear it.
Yes, of course.
Hey, Ingrid. Not too often I see you wandering in town like this.
Oh, I, was just out for a walk. What about you? Are you here to do some shopping?
Yeah, Dadu asked me to pick up some ingredients for dinner.
Well, if it is food shopping you're after, then your best bet would be the boulevard past the river.
What are you so flustered for? You're not hiding something, are you?
What, me? No, not at all. It's nothing really. I'm just surprised how much you can find here.
And it's a far cry from the struggling little towns dotting the rest of the kingdom, that's for sure.
Yes, Galatea is one of the regions that's found itself facing particularly hard times lately. A beautiful town like this, filled with happy people, hardly feels like it's part of the same kingdom as the blighted, barren lands I call home. The street lined end to end with blacksmiths is an especially magnificent sight. Not to mention all the wonderful smells wafting from the food stalls. Sorry, I lost myself for a moment there. In any case, it's great to see just how prosperous this town has become.
Don't worry, I get where you're coming from. Seems like there's barely any crime here either.
I suppose I have much to learn from this town, as the future Count Galatea.
Hey, speaking of, have you figured out what you want to do yet?
Not at the moment, no. In fact, part of the reason I came into town today was to do some further searching. It's my dream in life to stand as a knight by His Majesty's side, just as my late fiancé once did. And even if I do not become a knight like he was, there must be a way I can protect His Majesty in a similar fashion. Perhaps I could teach the people of my house the ways of farming and travel the kingdom cultivating land for those who need it most.
That's an idea. Definitely an unusual job for a count, but it'll be welcome for sure. And if you managed to help the kingdom prosper while you did it, people would grow more and more satisfied with the royal family's rule. That's certainly one way to protect the king. If that's the path you choose for yourself, I'll do whatever I can to support you. That's what friends do, after all.
In that case, what would you think of cooperating with me once I inherit my family's title? Just as Tobias did for my grandmother.
Don't tell me. You'd ask me to fetch you meat skewers every day to save you the trip into town?
What? I would never.
It was just a joke, don't worry. But I seriously do want to help. I believe in you, Ingrid. Hey, Sedith. What are you staring off into space for?
Oh, it is you. I was just reflecting on the monastery.
Yeah, it's that way, isn't it? In the mountains?
Correct? So close, yet still beyond our reach.
Can't say I ever learned much about it when I was there, but I know it's important to the church.
Yes, it serves as the headquarters of our order. Many saints have been laid to rest there as well. As a sacred ground, Garreg-Mach Monastery is irreplaceable. It is also a place that Flayn and I hold dear to our hearts.
So your sister feels that way too?
Due to our circumstances, Flayn and I traveled around Fodlan as nomads for a very long time. When we accepted the Archbishop's gracious invitation, I thought we had finally found our safe haven. That it would be taken from us so easily is almost too much to bear.
Well, that's all the more reason to take it back then. I'll do whatever I can to make that happen. Oh, I mean, while staying away from the Archbishop, of course.
You must forgive me for saying what I did back then. My position required I do so. I do not personally believe, however, that any evil resides within you. Whatever the true nature of your power, I trust you wield it with a righteous heart.
So you finally trust me. I'm sure glad to hear that.
Indeed. I am truly grateful to have you as an ally. I know I have no right to say this after regarding you with such suspicion, but we need you. I pray you will continue to lend us your strength, not only for the Church, but for the future of Fodlan itself.
You can count on me, Sedith.
So it's just no? Not under any circumstances?
It is not up for debate. This is for your own good, Flayn.
Hey, you okay, Flayn? Why the long face?
My brother has seen fit to forbid me from going out entirely.
That doesn't sound unusual for him. But as long as he doesn't know, what's the harm, right?
A fair point, but my brother truly is concerned for my safety. Perhaps...
It does seem like the church has enemies all over the place these days. So, I don't know, I think I get where he's coming from.
As you know, my brother and I have lived in remote and secluded places for a very long time. All we had was each other. Then we went to Garrick Mach and suddenly we were surrounded by all these people. I had hoped to make many friends and listen to their countless tales of all the places I hadn't been. But before I got to really know the people at the Officers' Academy...
Everything went all topsy-turvy and the academy had to shut down.
Do you remember when we went into town together to look at the latest fashions? That was so much fun. I was looking forward to going shopping together again, but perhaps I should just let the whole thing go.
Oh, Flame. Don't give up so easily. We're just talking about a little outing here.
Even that would prove tremendously difficult for me. With the church thrown into such chaos, my brother is in a near constant state of agitation. I must not trouble him further by making him worry about me as well.
You're very kind to your brother, Flame. Just remember, it won't always be like this.
You think so?
Absolutely. Wars can't last forever, right? When this war ends and peace returns to Fodlan, taking a shopping trip will be no big deal.
If that is so, then would you be willing to go into town with me again when that day comes?
Of course. I'd be happy to keep you company. Or were you keeping me company? I forgot.
With that to look forward to, it should be no trouble to summon a little patience. Although...
What is it?
I am not sure my brother will permit me to go somewhere with a man, even when the war is over.
If you tried to hide it and he found out later, it would be...
disastrous. That is correct. Are you ready for that?
Looks like I'll have to be. After all, it's a little late to start worrying about that now.
What a pain.
Everything all right, Catherine? Thought I saw Count Karen a second ago.
Yes, I just had to talk to my father about something. He wanted to request some of the church's soldiers as reinforcements, but I don't have the authority to make that decision. For the life of me, I can't understand why he'd come to me for something that only Lady Rhea or Dimitri could help him with.
Whoa, wait. Count Karen is... your dad?
Yes. Huh. I could have sworn you knew. Well, I guess you do now. I am, in fact, the daughter of Count Karen of Fargus.
I had no idea. Though, now that you mention it, you do bear their crest.
Things are complicated with my family, to say the least. But basically, I'm keeping my distance from House Karen for the time being. Right now, I am Catherine, Knight of Saros. No connection to any house or the kingdom.
I see. So you intend to keep serving the church going forward? But what do you think you would do if the church and kingdom broke their alliance?
A foolish question. Obviously, I would side with Lady Rhea. It's not a matter of kingdom or church. My allegiance and my sword lies with Lady Rhea and her alone. Though, of course, I would prefer not to fight my friends and family from back home. So it would be ideal for me if the kingdom and church could play nice forever.
The Archbishop's personal sword, huh? You've got one heavy blade.
What about you? What are you fighting for here? Or is it one of those, I just tripped and fell into it kind of stories?
I've got a score to settle with someone. Figure I got a better chance of fighting them again if I'm here.
Oh yeah? Must be a formidable opponent, judging by that look on your face.
Aside from that, you might be right. Maybe my coming to Fargus was pure chance. A civil war broke out in the capital right after I joined the Officers' Academy. By the time things died down, Rhea decided to close the school. That's when Dimitri put me in my current role.
Sounds like you've had a rough go of things too. But you're commanding kingdom troops now, right? That's a pretty good step up. I say that as long as you're living life in a way that would make your past self proud, that's enough.
Make my past self proud, huh?
Easier said than done, I know. But it can't hurt to try, right? Just keep challenging yourself. You'll get there eventually. On your way back from training? It's admirable of you to keep at it so late.
Yeah, well, I like to get in a little bit of practice whenever I can. Can't afford to fall behind with everyone else getting so strong on the battlefield.
It's a little late for me today, but I could join you tomorrow. If that's okay, of course.
Really? That'd be great.
A desire to get stronger is not a bad thing in my book. While we're on the subject, can I ask you something? Why do you want to get stronger? No, wait. Let me start with a different question. What made you originally decide to become a mercenary?
It's not really much of a story. This is kinda just where I ended up. After my mom died, I left the village we'd been living in, but I had no idea what I was gonna do. I eventually ran out of money and fell in with a mercenary group. Then I worked my way up from doing their laundry to fighting.
You don't say. Well, I guess your story is a pretty common one, actually. How'd mercenary life treat you?
Awful at first, but once I met some folks that I got along with, it wasn't so bad. Anyway, the plan was to keep fighting alongside my friends, make a name for myself as a merc, and eventually run out of luck and die. But somehow, I've suddenly found myself in charge of the king's private army, leading soldiers into battle. Not really what I expected, I'll tell you that much.
That's how life is. You never know what tomorrow will bring. When I was a kid, I never imagined I'd be wielding some holy relic as a Knight of Seros. I thought my destiny was to follow in my father's footsteps and become the next Count Karen.
It seems like you've been through a lot. I heard you were a fugitive at one point.
Yes, well, something happened. My best friend lost his way, and I couldn't set him right. Eventually, it cost him his life, and I let it happen. I couldn't stay in my hometown after something like that. But despite all that pain and sadness, I have no regrets about the choices I've made in my life.
Not many can say that. So, you've succeeded in making your past self proud, huh?
That's right. My past has made me who I am today. I'm going to keep moving forward, no matter what hardships lie ahead.
You're a strong person, Catherine. I think I could learn a lot from you. Hearing your story and what you said about making yourself proud gives me so much to think about. No matter how hard we try, there will always be times when we have to make tough choices, right? My past self fought hard to get me here. Am I gonna make the choice that past me would have approved of?
The tough part isn't making the right choice, though. It's what you do after. You must try your best to make whatever decision you land on into the right one in the end.
You make it sound so easy, but the more I think about it, the harder it seems.
Then don't think about it. Just keep trying your best day after day. Put one foot in front of the other, and eventually, you'll look back and realize how far you've come.
That's all I've got to do, huh?
That's all. You could even start right now. If anything I said struck a chord, that is. I, for one, look forward to seeing you carve your own path, wherever it may lead.
Your Majesty, you will take ill if you keep sleeping at your desk.
Do? Oh, I've done it again. Yes, well, thank you for waking me and sparing my poor neck any further damage.
You sounded pained. Is everything all right?
Dreaming of the past again, I fear.
The tragedy?
No. The day I returned to the capital afterward. Do you remember the child who cursed me after my father's funeral?
Oh, yes. I believe he was the son of a knight who fell in Duscar.
He was furious that I would not take revenge on your people, and even more enraged to see you serving as my vassal. He berated me without mercy, demanding I kill you then and there. All I could do was walk away. Everyone desires revenge for that day. Survivors and the dead alike cry out for retribution.
I know, Your Majesty.
I seek to fulfill the duty they have given me, and have never once flinched from it. And yet, to do. If I were mortally wounded and begged with my dying breath for you to avenge me, what would you do?
I would do it, even at the cost of my life.
And if I told you to forget me, and live for your own happiness?
I would regretfully decline. I cannot know happiness without you by my side. I would still seek vengeance, just for my own sake, not yours.
Interesting. And nothing I say to the contrary will change your mind?
Your Majesty, can you not live for your own sake?
My life is not my own. It belongs to my kingdom, my people, and the dead. But had I been born to a different fate, well, perhaps I would have traveled outside Folan with you as a mercenary. Or perhaps I'd be a farmer. I confess the thought does sound rather delightful.
Surely you could still tread those paths.
It was a jest to do. I merely said the first thing that came to mind. I am driven by matters on which I cannot permit myself to yield. I hope you understand that.
Well then, all the more reason to get some proper rest. If work remains, I will aid you. If you have difficulty sleeping, I will lend you my ear. But seeing you slumped over at your desk disturbs me. Every time, I fear death has come for you in the night.
Death will never sneak up on me as long as I remain under your watchful attention.
Your Majesty, please.
Though, if I were to die and leave you alone, the aftermath would be horrendous. I suppose I will heed your advice. Just this once.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I swear I will avenge you. Please, just wait a little longer. I will uncover who drove you to your deaths, no matter the cost.
Dimitri.
Glenn. Oh, Felix. It's you. I'm sorry you had to see that.
After 20 years, I've seen all of you there is to see. Everyone else is asleep. You know that, right? So why are you locked up here in the chapel? Also, what's with the mumbling?
I suppose there's little sense in hiding it from you. I suffer from a kind of waking dream. I see them. I see the people who died on that day. At all hours, light and dark. If the Empire was involved in that incident, if the Emperor stood by and gave tacit consent, then give to them the same end. Gouge out their hearts and cleave their heads from their shoulders. Those are the words the dead scream at me.
When did this start?
It's been 6 years. But I began hearing their voices 4 years ago. During my first battle, I recognized the enemy general as a man I had seen in Duscar. When I removed his head, the voices cheered. They laughed. It was as if a terrible pain had finally been lifted from them.
I think I get what's happening here. Look, do you really think your father and Glenn and everyone else would be torturing you like that? You're the one who's doing this, Dimitri. Not them. You.
Even if that were true, I can never forgive myself.
Believe me, I know. But it's your job to lead. If you lose your path, you'll take everyone else down with you. So try to keep that whole removing their heads thing in check, yeah? We can just call it our little secret.
Well then. Are you offering to let me unburden my heart to you when the time calls for it? You're the only reason I haven't descended into utter savagery, you know. So just as Lug had Kaifon, and my father had Rodrigue, I would ask that you continue to be my right-hand man.
Right-hand man, huh? I like the sound of that.
What are you doing?
As your new right-hand man, my first act is to haul my restless king back to bed where he belongs.
This is absurd. My feet are dragging on the floor.
It's your own fault for being so tall, you sack of muscle.
Say, Do you remember how I once carried you in this way when you twisted your ankle?
Yeah, turns out lugging folks around is good training. So just cram it and let me finish my workout already.
Yes, of course. Please, carry on.
Why do I feel someone watching me?
Hello, Bernadetta.
Somebody!
Stop. I am not a ghost, and I am not here to scold you. I'm just here to get food because I'm hungry. I was stuck inside all day with work and missed my chance for dinner.
Help! Oh, so you're just like me then.
It's rather difficult being shut inside all the time. I always lose track of the hour.
Yeah, same. But how'd you know I was inside all day today? Oh no. Was this work of yours spying on me?
No. If I had time to spy on people, there wouldn't be piles of documents teetering atop my desk.
Yeesh, that sounds rough. Wait, hold up. Why are you taking all those raw veggies and that dried meat?
Because it's my dinner? Which I missed? I thought I made all of this clear.
What? So you're gonna eat them just like that? Not that there's any problem with that.
Well then, Bernadetta, perhaps we could cook something together.
Cook?
Yes. You have a bit of talent in the kitchen, right? Maybe you can take this chance to teach me.
Sure, I guess. I mean, if you're gonna insist, then I'll show you just how good I am. I think I heard you like this cheese and spice. The bag!
All right, that should do it. What's the matter, Bernadetta? You seem to be shrinking away.
I can't do it. I can't cook in front of a stranger.
I hardly think we're strangers at this point, but regardless, it looks fine to me. There's no need for you to be so distraught.
It's not fine! The spice bag ripped and they all fell in, and then I got so flustered I dropped an entire reel of cheese in there! It smells terrible, and I mean really terrible. There's no possible way it's going to taste good! What? Okay, if you force yourself to eat that, you're going to be sick for days.
I'm not forcing myself to do anything. It would be a shame to waste food we made together.
So it's not gross? You don't feel sick or anything? Well, I guess I could try it then. So disgusting! How did you even eat it? Oh wait, don't tell me. You're eating it as an excuse to say, I hereby sentence you to death for feeding me horrible food!
Do you honestly believe I wander about executing people at will for the smallest transgressions?
No! I don't want to die! Let me live!
Too much cheese and spice, is it? I suppose I'll bring her something else for dinner, since she only had one bite of this.
Oh, how do I even...
Annette, what are you doing?
Oh, to do. Perfect timing. Got a sec? So here's my problem. I'm not entirely sure how to use this thing.
That is a hero's relic, yes?
Yep, it's called Crusher. I know, pretty intimidating. It used to belong to my uncle. But it's really, really heavy. Just lugging it around tires me out like nothing else. Plus, whenever I swing the thing, I feel like it's gonna take me right along with it.
It does look heavy, yes. Even without its power as a relic, no armor can possibly stand against such weight.
Sounds like I need to build up some muscle then. That's probably gonna take a while, huh? Too bad I'm not already as big and tall as you.
You might not be able to change your stature, but physique isn't everything.
You know, I think I've heard my father say the same thing. And if that's the case, I'd like to try a few things. Have time to help?
Very well.
Thanks. Though, on second thought, I probably shouldn't go around swinging a relic at you.
I often do my training with a large bag of rocks.
That could work.
Use your entire body, Annette. If you only use your arms, you'll be sent spinning.
Okay, like this?
Exactly.
Whew, what a workout. Still, I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of it. Thanks, Dedu. You're a lifesaver.
Glad to be of service.
I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to wield something like a hero's relic, but you gave me the motivation to try. I'm gonna use this puppy to keep everyone safe. Just you watch.
Yes, I'm sure you will.
Huh? Dedu, what are you doing here?
Oh, Annette, I was training.
Wow, do you ever take a break? 'Cause you should. It's almost dinner time.
I don't plan to stop yet. I'm still not strong enough.
Not strong? You mean with your axe? Come on, you're plenty good at swinging that guy around.
No. I must make up for my inability to wield a hero's relic. You, Felix, and the others are all able to make use of their immense power. I know I can never rise to that level, but if I could somehow close the gap. To be honest, I'm envious. Envious of your ability to wield such a powerful instrument.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard you open up like that before.
I apologize. Please forget I said anything.
No, I'm happy you told me. I feel closer to you now. Anyway, I think you're really strong already. I don't know what we'd do without you.
Truly?
Yeah, you're invaluable with or without a relic. Crests and relics are only useful on the battlefield anyway. But you can cook and sew and do all kinds of helpful stuff. Meanwhile, I'm pretty much just 9 thumbs and a toe. Plus, you swing around that heavy axe like it's nothing. So I mean it, Dedu. You're amazing.
We each have something the other lacks.
Exactly. Besides, maybe it's a good thing that you can't use a relic. If you could, you'd be too good and the rest of us would just be getting in your way all the time. Training is fine and dandy, but don't be so hard on yourself, okay?
You're strong in your own way, Annette. Your optimism is infectious. It aids not only me, but everyone else as well.
Aw, you're making me blush. Still, I guess being positive sort of is one of my special talents, huh? And if it managed to help you even a little, that's enough for me. Anyway, I made dinner today, so let's head back and start feasting. It'll be yummy, promise. I mean, I did manage to make the bottom of the pot fall out, so things got a little hairy there for a second, but it smells great.
The bottom fell out?
Yeah, but it turned out amazing, I swear. I can't wait for you to try some.
How did you manage to... Never mind. Let's eat before it grows cold. Ingrid, I have brought sustenance.
Oh, thank you, Dedu. These look wonderful. Your timing is impeccable. I was just about to wrap this up.
Writing reports?
Yes, I was summing up the results from our most recent battle in the Dusker region. It was a dreadful fight. It will be quite some time still before the situation in Dusker stabilizes. Obviously, I'm glad those involved in the tragedy were captured in the end, but...
But like any other region, Dusker is home to all kinds of people. Some good, some bad.
Exactly. The kingdom is no different. We may have our fair share of villains, but we should not be blaming innocent people for the actions of the bad ones.
It's human nature to generalize. I'd be lying if I claimed to hold no hatred towards Fargus for the devastation it brought to my home. But I've come to meet many kinds of people as I've lived here with His Majesty. Some hurled stones and insults, not only at me, but at His Majesty as well. Yet some remained kind to me, despite my heritage.
I guess I never really had to think about it like that. Honestly, Dedue, if not for you, I would have gone on stubbornly hating and fearing everyone from Duscur, no matter how much His Majesty insisted on their innocence.
But you did meet me, and now you have taken the first step toward change. It may not be my place, but I find that willingness to change admirable.
I am wholly undeserving of such praise. I still have a long way to go. But enough of this. After I am finished here, maybe we could grab a bite together in town.
Sure.
The other day, His Majesty introduced me to an inn that serves the most excellent food. It is actually owned by someone from Duscur. I was amazed how much I enjoyed everything. I would love to take you there.
Ingrid.
Yes? I am sorry, are you not interested? Or do you have other plans?
Nothing like that. You said His Majesty brought you there.
Well, yes. He seemed quite familiar with the owner.
I see. Call for me when you're ready. Right now, I must find His Majesty and remind him not to be so cavalier in his movements, even with you at his side.
Oh dear. Perhaps I should not have mentioned that part.
There you are, Felix. Why didn't you tell me?
Tell you what?
About the fight you got into the other day with those soldiers.
Oh, that. Don't worry, I won't do it again.
One of my men told me the whole story of what actually went down. Apparently, one of your soldiers was mocking the heir of House Gautier, who just so happens to be me. And he started getting into it with everyone else, which is when you decided to jump in.
Worst decision of my life. But like I said, I'm done with all that. I only stepped in because I thought it was my responsibility to make my men see sense. But my fists tend to move faster than my brain, as I'm sure you know.
I'm very well aware. Still, I'm curious why you didn't tell me everything right away.
Because he said some really nasty stuff about you. I didn't want your delicate ears dropping off in horror.
Okay, now I'm even more curious. Anyway, sorry for tearing into you without knowing the full story.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I can't let personal life influence business, even if it does concern you.
You shouldn't worry about it. People speaking poorly about me is something of a regular occurrence. And honestly, I deserve every last bit of it. I was a real scoundrel in my younger days. Caused a whole lot of people a whole lot of headaches. That kind of talk isn't your fault or your soldier's fault. The blame lies squarely with the man I used to be.
So, why didn't you do something about that man when you were younger?
It was just... I had to be that way, you know? I had to play the part of the flippant, carefree rogue because... Anyway, look, I know I'm a real piece of work, but that's just me being me.
Fine. Perhaps you do deserve to be made fun of. But I still won't stand it coming from a bunch of curs who don't know a single thing about you. You may not have the title of Margrave yet, but you still make yourself pretty useful. I've seen how you've helped the boar, and I guess you helped me too.
Wow, Felix, that's... Wow. Oh boy, I think someone's cutting onions in here.
Be quiet. Can't you listen to someone for 2 seconds without opening your fat mouth and completely ruining the moment? You always have been too smart and too loud for your own good. Even if no one can match you in military tactics or domestic affairs. It's like you said, we've got problems piling up both inside and out of the kingdom. But with you around, we might just be able to see our way clear of it.
That's a lot of problems to pile on one person, especially when he isn't half as great as you're implying. I mean, I might be, say, 7% more cunning than you, but that's pretty much it. If we really want to be useful to Fargus and Dimitri, we need to work together, so we can balance out each other's weaknesses.
I suppose that's true. In which case, I guess I'm counting on you. I may even need you. Maybe. Besides, I'd be stuck with nothing but miserably dour folks without you around. I'm not sure I could handle it.
You don't have to tell me twice, old friend. I'll always be there for you. I promise.
Well, this is getting a bit long. And there's plenty more to go, so I'm gonna stop here. It's nearly been an hour. Oh, till next time, guys.